Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today we're going to make a delicious casserole for the fall. So stay tuned. Yes, this casserole, I consider it a fall casserole, but it could be eaten anytime or made any time of the year. Basically, we're going to be using these ingredients. 1 pound of ground turkey. Now this is the 93% lean and 7% fat. Once again, we're trying our best to stay a little bit on the healthy side with this. We have 3 cups. Now this is my homemade sauce. Now you can use store-bought. If you wanted to use a store-bought sauce, you can totally do that, but we're gonna need about 3 cups of a tomato-based red sauce, and that's my special sauce. We're gonna be using about a tablespoon of pure honey, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, about 1 or 2, probably 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're using approximately close to a half a cup of cherry tomatoes that have been sliced in half. And then we have 4 garlic toes that have been minced. We have approximately 1/4 of a cup of sweet bell peppers. The tricolor, the yellow, the orange, the red, that's what makes it so fall. And then we have it's 1 medium-sized white onion that has been diced. We are going to be using some Italian blended cheese that has mozzarella romano, parmesan. This actually, I included Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, I love this cheese, as many of you know. But I added 1/4 a cup of this cheese specifically to that Italian blended cheese. And that comes to approximately 2 1/4 cups of cheese. Salt and pepper, of course, and then we're gonna need around a teaspoon of basil, teaspoon of oregano, approximately a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon, depending on your taste, of red pepper flakes. I just like to add just a little bit of red pepper flakes to this. We are using 1 full box of penne pasta, so a pound of penne pasta, and make sure that you cook it for around 11 minutes. You can cook it an extra minute if you want, but it will be in the oven, and we'll be baking it at 350 degrees for around 20 minutes. Now, if you don't have a pasta pot already, I highly suggest you get one because they're so handy. It has that built-in strainer, and when you strain the water, all you do is lift it, and it just makes it so easy. Oh, by the way, you will need to reserve approximately a cup of pasta water when you're cooking your pasta, so don't forget that. And I believe that is it, so let's start cooking. So the first thing you want to do, of course, is to cook your pasta, so make sure you do that. And then once your pasta, or as your pasta is cooking, get a large skillet, and that's where we're going to be using approximately 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so our oil is pretty much heated up. We're going to start adding our onion. Remember, that was approximately 1 medium-size, good-size onion that you want to dice up. And we're going to cook our onions for around 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to start adding, we're going to add our sweet peppers a little bit before these are fully cooked. So I'm just going to cook these up first, just for about a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to add my red peppers and, of course, the garlic. The garlic I usually add in the last minute or so. So they give that a nice stir in that extra virgin olive oil, and we'll be back. We're gonna let that cook for a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes, and at this point I like to add a little bit of salt, just a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon, and a little bit of black, freshly cracked pepper. Probably about a half a teaspoon or so. Give that a nice stir, mix that together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our sweet peppers. Look at those colors. So autumnal. I just love how that looks. And see, we just have just enough peppers. It's not too much. We want our onions here to be the star of the show. But those peppers are just going to add just a nice little flavor to this dish. We're going to cook this up for a couple minutes together. Now, just to let you know, the onions and the peppers were cooking on a medium flame, and I just reduced the flame to a low flame because we're going to soon be adding our garlic, and we don't want to burn our garlic. This looks so good and smells so good. I just love onions and peppers and garlic. Okay, I think this is a good stopping point to add our wonderful garlic. This is 4 garlic toes. And we're just going to give that a nice stir together. Cook that for around a minute on a low flame. Make sure you keep stirring. You want to really blend, mix that garlic in there with the onions and the peppers. Okay, now make sure your hands are clean because you're going to be adding the ground turkey to this mixture. And it's always important that you always keep your hands washed when you're cooking. So we're going to mix that into our onion, pepper, and garlic mixture. Make sure that gets cooked. We're going to kind of brown our turkey. So I'm putting up the flame just a bit. This is on a medium to low flame right now. And we're just going to cook this until the turkey is browned. So after a couple of minutes, you want to make sure that your onion and your peppers and the garlic is all mixed in with that meat. That's when you want to put up the flame a little bit. So this is going to be totally on a medium flame right now because we got our onions to get mixed in there with our turkey, our ground turkey. And we're just going to cook that up. So this probably totally should take about 5, maybe 7 minutes total. All right, so we have about a few more minutes to go. Okay, so I think we're at the point now where we're going to add approximately a teaspoon of salt and approximately a teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. Give that a nice stir. And we're going to start adding our spices to this. So remember, I said we're going to use approximately a teaspoon of basil, so I'm really eyeballing it right now. Okay, so you want about a teaspoon of basil. You want a teaspoon of oregano. You want probably about just a little bit of Italian seasoning, maybe half a teaspoon, and just a little bit of the red pepper flakes. Okay, we're going to give that a mix. And we are preheating our oven at 350 degrees. You have to make sure you do that. And this is cooking up nicely. Smells really good. Going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. Don't you love when honey comes out so... Let's just do this. Let's just give it a squeeze. Just about 1 tablespoon should work. Okay. That was funny. All right. Now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of the balsamic vinegar. I'm going to lower the flame now. I'm going to give that a stir. Stir that together. It smells good. Okay, now we're going to add those cherry tomatoes. And we're just going to stir those cherry tomatoes in there, in that mixture. Very simple. Okay. Now we're going to add our tomato sauce. And we want to stir that in there. Remember, I said you can make your own sauce. I do have a video. You'll have to scroll back some to find my homemade sauce, Italian sauce, but you know, you can make your own. You can do store-bought. It's just regular, you know, consists of garlic, Italian seasoning, basil, oregano, all those wonderful Italian flavors. Okay, so we're giving that a nice stir. Very good. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add our pasta water to that. Remember, that was close to a cup of the pasta water. Pasta water. And now we're going to cook this up for just about a minute or so, and then we're going to be adding about half of our cheese to this mixture. Okay, so our oven has preheated. So what I'm going to do with my pasta now, my penne pasta, is I'm going to add it to this mixture here first, then we're going to add our cheese. That's why I use such a big frying pan. You really want to mix that really well together before we add it to our baking dish. And I do have this on a low to medium flame right now. So just keep stirring that in, blending that. Once you feel like it's been mixed really well, then you're going to add half. Then you're going to add half of the cheese. to this, okay? Now we're gonna add a half of our cheese. And just mix that in. And let that melt. Once that melts, then we can start adding it to our baking dish. Now with our baking dish, we do want to spray it with some Pam spray. So don't forget to do that. Okay, so we're just going to cook that for about another minute with that cheese. Okay, so we're just going to add our mixture to our casserole dish. Very nice. Okay. And now for the rest of the cheese. So we're going to get our cheese here, and we're just going to sprinkle the top. Don't forget that was that Italian blend cheese with extra Parmigiano Reggiano. All right, now we're going to bake it in the oven for around 20 minutes, but super important, we want to cover it first for the first maybe about 10 minutes. We're going to have it covered, and then the rest of the time, now this could take 20 to 25 minutes, but for 10 minutes leave it covered and then take off the foil, and then this way that cheese will melt nicely. You can put it under the broiler if you want to get that special color, but I'm good. And so we're gonna bake this for around 20-25 minutes. Great casserole for the fall. It looks so good. We're gonna let it sit for just about a minute. And of course, have a taste test. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's dig in. And let's see, this looks like a nice amount. Yum. Smells so good. All right, let's have a taste. Oh, wow. Oh, so good. So good. Oh my gosh, this is really good. You can just barely taste that balsamic vinegar with that honey. It's all there, all those flavors, and the cheese. Oh, it is so yummy. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, then you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living and happy healthy cooking. Bye-bye. Going back to my food. This is so good.